Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you've seen and want to see more. Coming up, round 22 of Super League. It's Bank Holiday Madness! So the first game of this Bank Holiday round of Super League, the round 22, is Salford versus Hull FC. And Salford coming off the back of defeat against Lee, giving Lee their first win of the season. And Hull coming into the game after a sloppy, messy game against Castleford, where they lost 12 points to 23. You would have thought that it was going to be one of those days for both teams, and it'll be the first team to take the initiative match that wins this entire game. And Hull FC were the first team to score as Liggy Sow darted over through the gap from close range to ground the ball behind the sticks on the 4th minute. Max Need adds the 2, but Salford had Jack Armride go off for HIA, but he was replaced by Brian Lannon. On the 13th minute though, Salford replied as Ken Seo is at it again as he dives over in the corner from a Tuilola here long pass, which Christian Inu goals for a 6-6 scoreline. Salford have been the better team at this point, but Mark Sneed put the black and whites back in front after the Red Devils are penalised for a high tackle straight in front of the sticks. But 11 minutes later, Salford are back at it again. And what a try it was! A kick on the last as finds Joe Burgess on the right hand side, who passes it back inside for Dan Sargent, who sends a kick practically to the other touchline for Ken Seo to get the ball in the right corner, rub it into the in-goal area, and score just right in the score right in the corner. Christian Inu scores the conversion, and that's how it ends the first half. But the whole try comes along. They go over back under the sticks through a great try by Danny Houghton. It was just a simple grubber, and he's in the sticks. And Mike Sneed puts the whole side back in front as he converts the try to the sticks. Not long after, Tuilola here earns a set restart for Salford on the 58th minute, and it's right on the whole try line. And from dummy half, Chris Atkin dives over to give Salford a 16 points to 14 lead, which Christian Inu adds the extras to make it 18 for Salford. Now, a high kick by Salford on the 67th minute to the right corner is batted back, and he bats it back for Harvey Levette, back by Joe Burgess, and he slides over in the left corner, which another impressive kick by Christian Inu happened to extend Salford's lead to 24 points to 14. Inu is perfect with the boot all day as as the tries keep coming from Salford, as another one as the ball comes from the Joe Burgess wing, with the winger actually scoring this time. He sprints down the left-hand side after the ball goes through the hands, and he dives over in the corner before any hands are put on him. This with the Inu kick, that's 30 points to 14. But Ken Seo completes his hat trick, and 2 minutes later, as Right, he scores right in the corner, catching a looping pass before cutting inside and powering back over. Inu adds the extras. Right on full time, Inu is in. Theo is in the fort. As what a performance by Ken Seo as the number 2 sprints the full length of the pitch to score his 4th try of the afternoon, with Inu goaling to finish the scoring at 42 points to 14 to the Salford. So our second game is at the Mobile Rocket Stadium, where we have Wakefield Trinity taking Leeds Rhinos. And it's not enough. It's going back both ways. Unbelievable effort. It wasn't until the 15th minute when Cruz Leeming crossed over for the first try of the game. Leeds keep a cool head. The original break by Brad Dwyer. This after Brad Dwyer's massive work to charge down a clearing kick from Wakefield. Dwyer breaks and he passes on to Leeming, who finds in turn Ash Hanley, and before Hanley stops he gets the ball away to Myler, who finds the supporting Cruz Leeming, who scores his try. Reece Martin continues his excellent kicking all year, missed 1 in 50 or something daft like that, to make it 6-0 to Leeds. It's a little bit later on, but Wakefield actually as they hit back with great work, getting up and up the pitch, and Tanganoa gets over head towards time as it's close to the post. Mason Lino adds the simple conversion to score to get the scores level, but before half time Brad Dwyer was over for his 6th try in 7 games, just to extend his lead. Reece Martin adds the extras, and it's 12-6. That is half time. After half time, it gets a bit bruising and battering. Superb defence by Brad Dwyer and Holroyd hold up Jacob Miller over the line to keep the scores parity. But on the very next tackle, there's a kick that rebounds off the Leeds posts, and Crowther gets the touchdown to make it 10-6. Lino converts as onto the post from where the try was scored. Luke Briscoe nearly dives over in the corner, but the touch just spots a foot in touch before he grounds the ball. And both teams are coming up with plenty of errors in the second half, and also both teams are down to 10, as Matt Pryor, who was sin-binned on the 7th minute for a high tackle, is now sin-binned again due to an off-the-ball incident with Wakefield's green. This caused a rigmarole and coming together about is a push, pull, everything like that, which green instigated. So he's also in the bin to give 12-12 scoreline and men on the field. Wakefield are awarded a penalty from this on the Leeds 30-metre line. Nothing comes of it though, but Jacob Miller takes a drop goal that for Wakefield to make their lead 13-12. First time Wakefield are in the lead of this game. Not to be outdone, on the 71st minute, Rob Louis adds a single for himself to keep the scoring parity to make it 13-all. Now they're starting trading drop goals as Ryan Hampshire adds a drop goal to make it 14 points to 13. And following that, both teams come back to 13 apiece. And it looks like Wakefield have sealed the win as Jake Arundel goes over in the corner on the hooter. That's it then, they have won to make it 18 points to 13, and Mason Lino scores a conversion to complete the scoring, and it's a win, third win on the bounce for Willie Poaching. It's temporary charge at Wakefield, 20-13. So this is a game of two different ends of the spectrum in confidence levels. Wigan, who haven't scored in 5 consecutive halves of rugby league a try, got 2 points, St Helens, and Castleford, who won the last couple, to be honest, and are doing quite well. And the only try of the half came from Jackson Hastings, barrelling over from short range after an attempt from short range from John Bateman. Harry Smith added the 2, but that's all that we can say about the Wigan attack. When they get into a certain area, they're blasting it high and long, so that Castleford have to attack from deep in their own 10 or 20 metre line. Castleford have had a few attacking opportunities, a few repeat sets, and a lot of handling errors by Wigan being turned over to them. 3 by Joe Burlock, I think it was, and 1 from Liam Byrne in the space of 5 minutes. But otherwise, it's been a bitty, one-dimensional affair from Wigan, and also Castleford a little bit impotent when it comes to their attacking plays. I hope it's going to get better as the second half goes on, when the second half starts, because this time they look like 2 poor teams, just grinding each other out. No attacking impetus, really. Before half-time, Jesse Senlefeu was sin-binned for a high tackle, but as the hooter went, Harry Smith decided to go for a kick from his own half. Considering he's not very proficient with his goal kicking, it was not a surprise where this one faded badly short. Just reached inside the 20, I'd say. And Castleford just took the tackle, and that's how the game ended. The half ended. But let's see how they're going on in the second half.
The target.
There is always this.
This is the unreal pressure. There is Richardson. Oh! What a hit! What a hit! Jake Bibby on Danny Richardson. Oh my, oh my! Richardson is getting up. He wants to play the ball. He's saying he's okay.
He comes from about 25 metres out.
We felt that up here.
Huge hit from Jake Bibby, who knew he had to do something. He was outnumbered.
Here it comes.
A lot of people think that it's a try that's very often the turning point in a game, and even the turning point in a season for a team who aren't doing well. It could well be that tackle there from Jake Bibby that just reinvigorates Wigan. They get a chance here to catch their breath and defend again. Dal Powell looks to see if he can get some combination between O'Brien, Richardson, Evans. The ball goes wide to him and he must be off the line so quickly. Into his face as he catches the ball, slammed to the ground.
That'll do, won't it? So the second half has just finished, and Castleford were the all-makers of their own downfall in this entire game. They didn't score a single point in the second half. They had field position, but too many handling errors and not enough crispness when they get into the right areas. At the one point they had Evalds, O'Brien, Richardson and Jordan Turner all playing halves as they brought Greg Eden on and moved Jordan Turner from centres into the halves. Then they had Adam Milner as well, who's always good with ball, and Millington, who's good ball handling, but the crispness wasn't there. And Wigan made them pay for it, as in the opening parts of the half, Wigan scored, and it was a mistake from Castleford that got the second half scoring up and running on the 60th minute, when ball went to ground off a pass, and Liam Marshall raced 80 metres to score underneath the sticks. And Smith's converted this one. Wigan got a penalty just after that, and Smith went for goal again from 47 yards out, 47 metres out. Can't tell because of the Castleford pitch being shorter than most other pitches. And he missed it. He missed it again. I don't know what to say. So the kicking duty went over to Jackson Hastings. And the next try that came along, he was able to go for the conversion, as Gildart powered over in the corner after an initial spin out pass by Smith that found Gildart in a bit of space, and he stepped inside one, and through the despairing tackle of Jesse Senelafeu, he was able to plunk the ball down with his left hand in the left corner. Hastings missed this kick, unfortunately, but it brought up 16 points to 0 to Wigan. Then, 5 seconds before the hooter, the forwards of Wigan start to get the ball in hand, and they fling the ball left, and Oliver Partington got the ball, found a gap for Brad Singleton to go in for a try underneath the sticks. It was an easy run, decent shot, but a decent pass at pace that created the gap for Singleton to go through round the left hand post. Hastings converted that one from right in front, and it ended 22 points to 0. Liam Byrne went into the sin bin early in the second half. Castleford could not make any leeway into that. All that I can say about this is Castleford, their bitty players come back to bite them. They got 3 wins on the bounce, and they were going for 4, but they need to be crisper. Wigan, much needed confidence, but they were up against the Castleford. They didn't have it. Forward. So to say that this game is one-sided so far is to say it's kind of obvious, as you'll find out in a few seconds. as Catalan Dragons played the Lee Centurions at Gilbert Brutus in Perpignan. And it didn't take Catalan to get on the board too long to get on the board, as Mike McMeekin went over on the 2nd minute. This was followed up on the 6th minute by Fuad Yaha, and McMeekin again on the 11th. Then James Maloney on the 17th. Then it was a first half hat-trick for Fuad Yaha on the 33rd minute. And Mike McMeekin scored his hat-trick on the 36th minute. James Maloney has kicked 6 from 7, and it's currently 40 points to 0 to Catalan Dragons. Lee seem to be not at the races whatsoever, and the least that they can do in this half is either get on the board, but their aim should be to win the half. There's more than likely not going to be any way back in this half, but Catalan, who are going closer and closer to that top of the table finish for this league leading shield, are in rampant form, and also sending a message out to Super League with St Helens playing Warrington a bit later on. Lee should have been a bit more buoyed after their result against Salford. Come out fighting, but I think Catalan's class to the fore and started to peak now that week of series. See what happened. So I was expecting Catalan to shut up shop a little, slow down the plays, and Lee to step it up a little bit more to give them some confidence, at least, in what they've done. But Lee were nilled, and Catalan put in another 24 points as Joel Tompkins got his try against his future employers. Sam Tompkins got a double, and Tom Davis scored final try on 75th minute. James Maloney finished with 10 conversions of the day, as it went all one way. Lee have got their one and only win, and I think they're satisfied for that in the Super League. Their first win since May 2021, last week, and then get battered the week after. They used all the substitutes. Jay Whitbread was named amongst the substitutes, but came on game. But nothing else to be pleased about. They were well and truly beat. So with this local derby, both being in the Warrington postcode, kicked off, there was an interesting observer in the Warrington coaches viewing gallery, as Eddie Jones of the England Rugby Union side was in there getting a bird's eye view of what's going on inside a rugby league coach's office as well as the game. So he was there as an invite from Steve Price, who Steve Price is going to Cronulla after this season ends as their assistant coach. But it was Saints who started off the brightest, and he set out a marker of intent, as in the 2nd minute there was a grubber by Saints that hit the post and bounced in goal, and Ben Curry fractionally gets the ball touchdown in goal for a dropout before Lachlan Coote of Saints can score. They thought that they'd seen out the initial attacks from Saints Warrington, but after a risky offload by Wyre's Tom Lynham in his own 30, which was called a knock-on because it's what's he called? Broke his leg, James Bentley, that's the one. Hit James Bentley in the motion of going backwards towards his own posts. Otherwise, it would have been called 6 again, because Welsby kicked it and it went into the Warrington player's hands. Anyway, Saints draw first blood off that, as Jack Welsby, after Dodd's positioning behind the play the ball close to the Warrington line, heads right and passes after quite an obvious dummy to Kevin Nagama, who goes in the right corner for 4-0. Luckily, Coop misses that kick. Saints get a second through Lewis Dodd this time, when he starts a break down the left-hand side after a play the ball on the left-hand side was taken by Saints. And before he gets to the defensive line, he passes inside to Coots, and as he's drawn in the defensive man to come at him, Coots got a free run towards the line, with only Stefan Ratchford to beat. Ratchford makes the tackle, but before he does so, Coots sees Dodds carrying on his run through on his left-hand side, so he passes it off to Dodd. And Widdop is coming from nowhere, from the right-hand side of Dodd, as Dodd looks at it. So Dodd steps back inside, goes round Gareth Widdop, and scores a try. Unfortunately, in this motion, Gareth Widdop runs through and takes Darryl Clark out completely. He's got a cut head because of it, and he's wearing a bandage. Warrington, though, start to play rugby and score a try themselves on about, I don't know, 17 minutes before half time. It is a George Williams dart who is making his first home debut for Warrington. He darts through a gap and flicks a pass to his left to release Ben Curry for the second rower to race away and get there despite an ankle tap for the try. Ben Curry is on his 200th appearance for Warrington, and Stefan Ratchford adds the extras as well. And a few more minutes before half time, Warrington are ahead as they decide to run on the last, and the ball finds Jake Marmot, who flicks it out to Fulis, who does a chip kick ahead. And outside Fulis is one George Williams, who picks up the ball and carries it to the try line in the corner for his first home try in his second for Warrington Wolves. It was a great finish, great try, and a great imaginative attack. Ratchford converts from out wide to give Warrington the lead at coming up to half time. But inside the final minute and a half, a fumble by Coote under the returning set, and a massive high bomb. The ball was like a paper bag, it was just blowing everywhere. It really was. Coote, one of the best that gets under the ball instead of behind it so he can pouch it, and he bats it back to his own line. During the next tackle, Widdop has got the ball again, and he's going to play the ball, and the tackler, Batchelor of Saints, runs into him trying to get round to stand-up marker, and a penalty is given to Warrington. So, on the stroke of half-time, Ratchford adds a penalty 2-pointer to extend the lead to 14 points to 10. Must admit, all Saints for the first 20 minutes and a half, but Warrington come roaring back and do a very, very well. Well, what a match of two halves. A great game and a great advert for rugby league, and I'm really glad that I got to watch it. It got a bit bitty and a bit fighty and everything like that during the game, with some good hits going through. Warrington just didn't have the cutting edge at the end, and a few times they ended up running out of tackles rather than getting to the kick and kicking it, and then not even in position. They were that much under pressure, and the noise was so good. It just didn't have any commanders on the pitch, really. Widdop and Williams were outshined by the Saints team, even though they had the most experience and the best go forward out of any of the backs during the game. Saints won off capitalising off Warrington errors. Not really anything spectacular, and one really lucky bounce, and not really off being led around by Wellesby or Dodd, the youngsters. Kind of faded. There's only one telling notable action that I can think about from them too. So, as we're coming into the second half, St Helens were the first team to get on the board, as Warrington were on the attack. Jake Malmo has the ball ripped from his grasp on a last tackle by Joe Batchelor, who flicked a pass inside to Mark Percival to outpace the Wolves' defence from over 60 metres, to finish and draw his side level, and Lachlan Coote converted. Percival was being closed down by Ben Curry from the other side, but Curry tried to grab rather than tackle. Tried to grab the shirt rather than tackle, and it was easy to fend off. Go low and hard. If you pushed off Ben, you at least looked like trying to make a tackle. If you have a look back at it, it's nothing. A few minutes later, on 58, Wellesby puts in a chip kick from inside the 20, which deceives Ratchford by bouncing over his head, but it slits up perfectly for James Bentley, who snaffles the ball to finish in only his second try of the season. Like 5 games. Coote converts to make it an 8-point lead. Widdop tries to steal the ball underneath, which was in the full view of the referee, to be honest. It was a silly thing. But still, they're not. So at this point, Warrington start running ideas. Try running the rest of that. On the 66th minute, though, Tautier is pinged for a high tackle on Ellis Longstaff, which gives Warrington a penalty for out. And they decide to go for the kick. Yes, there's some thoughts being only 8 points behind that the kick, and they get the ball back and turn it upfield, they'll have a chance to level the score quicker. Fortunately, they don't take the kick, as it goes across the front of the post and sails left after Rashford's attempt goes. Jack Hughes went off with a suspected arm injury when he went into a tackle on Walmsley and his elbow hit the arm. Ouch. He was in pain, really. Hopefully it's not too bad. It's a stinger, but he had to go off because it hurt that much. As Saints were attacking again down the right-hand edge, Lachlan Coote sidesteps to deceive Tom Lynham, whose tackle catches Lachlan Coote across the chest and then goes up to push him in the face, taking him down. But again, all the medical staff flood around Lachlan Coote to make sure that is alright. And he stays down. But then he sat up shaking his head, he's going, yeah, right. But when the camera's looking at him, But when he's looking at a ref, he's proper milking it. He's milking it. Yes, it's deserved the yellow card because it was a little bit high across the chest to the neck area, and it went up to the face. But Lachlan Coote made the situation worse by he does it quite a lot, and I think he's going to join Canberra Raiders after he's been the milk. Anyway, back-to-back penalties go against Warrington as the ball is ripped illegally from Walmsley's grasp in front of the post, and the Saints take the kick instead. So Coote extends the lead to 10 points with just 4 minutes. 77th. He didn't take the penalty kick on the 74th off Lionham's kick as it was tied out, but it came to nothing. In the final minute, Foulis is penalised for contact with a head on the Saints player. Turns out to be Coote that did that. Not Coote, I mean Widdop that did that, and he was sent for 10 minutes, even though it's in the and so was James Bentley, because the high tackle was on James Bentley. Well, the contact in the tackle was on James Bentley, who retaliated by swinging. Takes exception, and they're both sin-binned at the end. But a penalty has been given, and Coote goes for goal to finish off the game, even if he goes dead. And he does miss. So the game ends 14 points to 24 to... So there's good games aplenty throughout this entire league today. It must be just putting on a show for everyone just to come down and say, it's Magic Weekend. Go and buy the tickets next week. Come and see us in Newcastle. Come and fill the stadium. As Huddersfield entertain Hull KR. Hull KR, who are still smarting off their defeat to their local rivals in the last game, and Huddersfield Giants have been bipolar, shall we say that? I think that's the best way to put it, I'm afraid. I apologise if people don't like that terminology, but it's the best way to describe them. Because one game they're good, one half they're good, the other half are bad. That's the best way to put it. I know that's a linear type of description, so I'll stop the description there. So Hull KR came out firing first as Mikey Lewis went over for a try on this minute, but not to be outdone. Ollie Russell scores his try on the 16th minute, which Huddersfield follow up quite quickly as Josh Jones scores on the 20th minute back from his Achilles injury. Oh, must be very, very happy with that. Ricky Litelli follows up Kane Linnett's try for Hull KR on the 20th minute with Litelli's try for Huddersfield 33rd, and then Sam Wood scores on the 37th minute for Huddersfield, so that they go in at half-time to lead no matter what happens next. But Greg Minikin scores just before half-time on the 39th minute for scoreline going Jets at half a rugby league, to be fair. Will Price converts 3 of the kicks when OKR miss all their kicks. So that's the difference between the two at half time of one try. OKR have their kicking boots on. It would be a 4-point game. They don't. See how their second half goes. Now this game is the perfect example of why making a try from 4 points to 6 points with conversion is best option. So we're going to the second half, and the first try scorer of the game is Ryan Hall of Hull KR on the 47th minute, which the kick wasn't converted. But the scores are 16. Huddersfield's Will Price is the next on the score sheet, as on the 54th minute he tries and goals to make it 30 points to 16. Huddersfield's Joe Greenwood scores and Will Price converts to make it 36 points to 16 on the 65th minute. And Kane Lynette adds his second try of the game to make it 36 points, which Rowan Mills, who takes over the kicking, converts to make it 6-2. Now, Nathan Petteru scores for Huddersfield, and Will Price kicks over his final goal of the day to make it 6 out of 7 and make it 40 points to 2. Rowan Mills converts a Matt Parcells try, which he scores right at the death to make it 40 points to 28. Now, reason why I'm saying kicking is 4 into 6. So, say Huddersfield had only missed that one kick throughout the game. If OKR had taken all 6 kicks and added the 2 on it, this would be 40 points to 36, which would have made a completely different end to the game. There would be more pressure on Huddersfield, as it's a much closer game. That stems from the first half not taking the conversion. It would have been 24-18 at half. That's how much 6 points. It's ended 4 points different. It would have ended 4 points different. But Huddersfield might have not attacked as much as they would have been under pressure. Important. I know it's like teaching a Grant to suck eggs, the explanation, and it's very, very dry. But you have to maximum. If you're going to win games, you score points. What do you say? Best defences win championships. But neither of those teams have either. Got a good kicker at Huddersfield in Will Price, and I think he'll flourish with halfback of Biofage there as well. That's how we're going to finish. So wow, what a round of fixtures coming from the Super League. So tell me, what's your favourite game in the entire round? Tell me who's the best player of the round. I think it's Ken Seo with his 4 tries, but the control that a team like Saints has, it means that they are champions elect, I think. They're going to have a stiff test against Catalan, because they pulled off a massive win against the Centurions. They nilled them. Leeds got beat at Wakefield. That was a turn up after they nilled Wigan last week. Wigan nilled Castleford, who beat Hull last week. Salford's 42 points to 14 win against Hull. What a result! You tell me what was the best result for the game this weekend, and I hope you enjoyed and went to a game. Tell me what game you went to. But in the meantime, excuse me. But in the meantime, stay safe, all the best, and I'll see you in the next video.